Hello, Veronica Andrade. I just said hi to myself. That's so weird. Okay, anyways, so I'll start off by saying when I was in first grade, second grade, this was like 1984, okay? I remember I was at a private school at the time, and we had these um, Apple II computers with the floppy disk. And in the classroom, we had two of them. And I was terrified of these things. And I hated computer day because I didn't know what to do. And I was always questioning, like, what do these things do? And why do we have to, why are we getting points, participation points for working on this Apple device? And I kind of always was like that up, all throughout high school. I remember my first year in college, questioning, what the internet was and who put this information on there and what's the point of it. And I remember just being blown away by being able to scan pictures and email, like, what's email? Oh my God, this is my first year in college. And I'm asking, like, wow, what's an email address? How do you get an email address? I think my first email address was with excite.com or something like that. So in terms of being a digital native, I feel like maybe my generation, there's this like gap. I don't really think I'm an immigrant, but I don't think I'm a native. I think like people Generation Xers toward the end, anybody that was born in the late 70s, early 80s, I feel like maybe we were kind of just growing with it, or we assimilated ourselves with it, because I kind of feel like that's how I've been with technology. Is I've been very fearful and scared, but at the same time, after college, and after I first started in private industry, I realized very quickly that I needed to adapt. Otherwise, I was going to get left behind. I worked with a secretary who wanted to type everything on a typewriter, and this was like 1999, and I was like, you can't do that anymore. You got to use the computer, and she was fearful of it. And I realized, I can't be that way. I have to learn. I have to adapt and assimilate. So in terms of native, like I would have to say I'm just an assimilationist. I'm a technology assimilationist. In terms of my experiences with digital media technology and new literacy practices as a learner and a teacher, I kind of just going to tell you that I approach the use of technology in the classroom just like this. If it's not purposeful, it doesn't develop a skill set, if there's no relevance to it, then I won't use it in my classroom. I work with people, and I remember being in a credentialing program when people would say, "Well, I incorporated technology because I delivered my lesson using a PowerPoint, and I showed I was engaging because I showed a YouTube clip." And just because you used a PowerPoint and you used a YouTube clip doesn't mean you're being effective. And I think that this is one of the problems is a lot of times educators are like, well, I did this, and I'm using technology, I'm demonstrating 21st century skills. Well, really, you're not. Like, if you're going to do a PowerPoint, teach the students how to do a PowerPoint, teach them about font choices, teach them about aesthetics, teach them about color choices, teach them about picture placement, teach them about, text, the amount of text on a slide, teach them presentation skills. And then, those are 21st century skills. To show a YouTube clip, unless it serves a purpose of building a background, activating prior knowledge, or, creating some type of student engagement, if it's more than 5 minutes long, those kids are going to become disengaged if it's not interesting. So just because it's, using technology doesn't necessarily mean it's effective. And I kind of think that we need to, if we have these tools, we need to be trained on how to use them. I worked with somebody who was fearful of using the DVD, on her MacBook Pro. She didn't know how to use it. And she was upset because she couldn't hook it up to the projector. She just, she wasn't computer literate. And I think it's not enough to have a computer literacy course in a credential program. I think if anything, moving forward as educators, there needs to be consistent training. There needs to be some type of, mentorship, in the classroom, because there's a lot of teachers that just don't know, and they think just because I'm using technology, I'm being effective. And so I think, we need to approach learning and teaching as a student through the student's eyes, using technology. So that's it.